Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Before we get into today's podcast, I want to introduce you to the sponsor of today's video, Fit Lounge Skincare. They do a variety of skincare products, beard oil, skin oil, so on and so forth. I myself use their beard oils, so that's how you know, inshallah, it's a good quality product. So without further ado, I'll play the ad, inshallah, and just to let you guys know, they've got a special offer just for you guys, 30% off the whole skincare range. So it's just in time for Eid, so make sure you place your orders, inshallah, and as always, we'll see you in the episode. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Fit Lounge Skincare. They've got these amazing beard oils over here. They've got them in different ranges. My personal favourite, which is also the favourite over here, is the Monsoon. Honestly guys, I put this on myself twice a day.
Smells beautiful. So I've just used the cleanser. My pores are wide open now. Now it's time to use the toner and close up them pores to make myself feel refreshed.
It's their own blend. So Fit Lounge Skincare, they've developed this amazing blend of oil that really, the result of it is pain relief.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'ad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to another episode of Ramadan with the Mandem. Now, usually when I introduce the guest of the podcast, I usually say something along the lines of, you probably won't know this brother, or some of you might, so on and so forth. However, on this episode, it's very likely that many of you will know this brother. And we'll get into that as we get into the episode, inshallah. So, Qasim, do you want to give salam to the people?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Imran?
Jazakallah khair for allowing me to be
Barakallah
here.
feekum. It's a pleasure.
And
It's a
Imran,
pleasure.
would you like to give salam as well?
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, so Qasim, first question, do you have a nickname?
Qasim. Known as Qasa or Qasa.
Qasa, okay. And is that a name that you're keeping? Is that a name?
La. My name is Qasim Ali.
Okay, so you've dropped that name.
100%.
Okay, so you've
No,
joined.
socials I'll keep. I don't mind, but
Right.
refer to me as Qasim.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you've joined the ranks of brothers who have come onto this podcast and
Yeah.
dropped their previous names.
I had to.
I love brothers are dropping
A lot of
names.
brothers are dropping names.
That shows like serious, like development in life.
But that doesn't
Not that I'm saying
necessitate
the name
that
is
the
bad.
ones, and
No.
also not the ones that
But-
didn't drop their name.
Yeah.
doesn't mean that
No,
they're
that's not
bad
my point.
either.
My point is that, as in, if a person has a name that they know about, like a name is a very personal thing. It's like, this is my identity.
Yeah.
If a person gets to a point where they're like, don't call me that anymore. It's like there's changes taking place in their life. And it's not, it could be bad or good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it just shows that everyone we've had on the podcast so far, they've got monumentous progress in whatever it is that they're doing in life. If they're dropping their names.
They're dropping their names.
Yeah.
Qasim, what was the first video from our da'wah that you saw ever in your life that you can remember?
I don't want to mention it though, man. That's the thing.
Why would you not want to
It was a
mention
meme.
Okay, if it's something mad, just beep out on it.
Go on.
Okay,
But
don't worry. It's
do you remember that me?
I think I know exactly what you're going to say.
No,
Go on.
I think you was doing a lecture and then it was a clip. It was a short, like 5 seconds, when you said, "Oh, if you smoke weed, yeah, it makes you."
Homosexual tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
When
remember.
I saw that, I was like, this guy. But then what I do is usually I don't judge people straight away, you know?
MashaAllah.
So when I saw your face, I try looking in the comments for your name. Then when I found your name, I started searching and seeing a lot of your dawah.
Uh-huh.
So then that led me to like your old videos where a lot of people said a lot of time on Eid day.
Yeah.
When you went to the Shisha Cafe and then you was on smoke basically that day. And another one, something for milkshake or something. It was outside a cafe. Just after the milkshake.
We were giving milkshakes free.
Yeah.
On
But
Eid.
then you was given that was
reminder.
another Eid as well. Yeah, another round.
Yeah, that was another Eid day.
I
Yeah,
remember.
wallah. Then I just kept rolling with a lot of them. But then I didn't really take it in. I just looked and just viewed and said, yeah, and I kept it moving, you know?
How long ago was this?
SubhanAllah, years ago, man. It was probably, I can't remember. It was like a glimpse of, basically for me, the past 5-6 years has been, to a certain extent, a blur to me.
Okay.
Because everything was just moving fast and time was going quickly. So every time I saw something, I wasn't really processing it properly, you know what I mean?
Okay.
That's fine. I'll get to the point why, the reason.
So let me question, when you first saw that video, it didn't put you off, or did it make you think like...
No, just the first video that Jenny saw, forget about that video, the first video I watched throughout was the one outside the Shish Cafe Eid day.
Okay.
And I just said to myself, wow, this brother can go out here, speak to his people with full on confidence. Wallahi, I have to give you props. I had to give you props. For someone to stand out there on Eid day with a microphone, talking to everyone, saying, listen, what you guys are doing is not right, so on and so forth. People don't do that nowadays. People just keep it themselves to themselves and doesn't move on. Allah Akbar. And then I saw that at the end, you lot had like a prayer at the end. You lot praying salah. Allah Akbar, man. That was amazing. From that point, I said, listen, the confidence that he has to go do that and don't care about being judged in general, you have to give him respect for that, wallah. You can't look at no other way. You can't say, oh, this guy's a crazy man. Look what he's doing. You know what I mean? You're not out there just shouting for no reason and you're drunk or something. You're actually going out there to spread a meaning for a reason and tell people how things are, you know what I mean? And then some Muslims were shocked, like, okay, cool. This guy's right. Let me go ahead and understand what he's talking about. So wallah, when I saw that, I was like, big respect, wallah.
And then when was the first time you came into contact with the da'wah offline in terms of in person?
Okay, wallah, compared to everyone who's been on it, mine was most recent. It was like summer last year. So long story short, I was gonna try to go, subhanAllah. So obviously a lot of people online already know about this in general. I lost my mother Ahmed last year to COVID. Leading up to the point of seeing you in the masjid, doing your lesson, it was like a lot of events that happened. So in terms of, I was taken back to like October 2020. October 2020, wallahi, subhanAllah, like as in me, my whole life I've been this title in terms of popular loner. Meaning I know a lot of people know me. This is prior to YouTube and all this social media stuff. A lot of people know me. I know a lot of people, but I'd rather keep myself to myself, you know? And sometimes in these situations, I know a lot of people from different angles of life, even to this point now. I know guys who are on the streets. I know guys who are like scamming. I know some guys that play football semi-professionally. I know guys that acts. I know like every walks of life. But I always kept myself to myself, you know? Because what I realized is my environment has a big impact on my whole life, wallahi. And in general, and I know because I feel bad, what's the word? Like, you know, someone has like bad like energy, bad vibes about them. Like it's a bit weird, you feel a bit weird about them. Even when it came to like even social media in general, I never used to chill with people that done social media as well. That was not me. I used to chill with my guys that I grew up with in my area and so on and so forth. Because in the industry, and wallahi, I don't know if you've reached it, it's a lot of fakeness, subhanAllah, man. And it's like, these people always want to benefit from you. Always, like, there's always like, at the end of the day, we're not friends for friends. I don't care about you. At the end of the day, all I care about is how am I going to benefit from you and how am I going to benefit from you. That's it. End of. If you don't benefit from each other, then it's a pointless relationship, you know? So a lot of stuff, even going in the field of even musicians and stuff that I've come across and so on, subhanAllah, it's just like, it's a doggy dog world, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you're not on top, then you're not on top, khalas, you know? But then, so last year, I just had like a MIA off YouTube straight away. Not even after my mom passed away, you know? So this was prior, I had like a long gap.
Even before she passed away.
Okay. I had a long gap because I was thinking, like, I just started thinking about stuff. I was getting signs here and there, thinking, yeah, subhanAllah, like, as in, I've got influence. People are watching me, people are listening to me, people are stopping me on the streets. Mothers and fathers and stuff stop me saying, yeah, the son and the child watch me, whatever. I wasn't that big, but I was just big to a certain extent, you know?
Like, you was known in the community, like, in the Somali community, like, people, because the community is so, like, close-knit. Things spread very quickly.
Very quick. And you know what I'm saying? Funny as well. Well, if I call my cousin right now, and it's not even me being big-headed, when I was 18 years old, so I started YouTube when I was 20, when I was 18 years old, I said to my cousin, wallahi, I remember this on the train, it was in Acton, and I said the exact same thing to him. If I call him now, he can confirm straight away. I said to him, I don't know what it is, but one day all the Somali people are going to know who I am. Wallahi, I don't know why. I don't know if it was for good or bad. I didn't know. I just said it, and I was like, I got a feeling. I don't know what's going on. Then 2 years later, I just started YouTube, and then subhanAllah, I just went like that. But in terms of environment, I never used to chill with people that are doing social media, so on and so forth, because their social media is, likes, comments, shares, and all that stuff. And, he didn't share my stuff. I feel personal, stuff like that, you know? So then I started distancing myself away from the social media life. I just cut off, whatever. At the time, obviously, I was at uni. So I was studying, I had more focus on other things, you know? And then, how can I explain? Wallahi. Then it got to a point where at night that I was just fed up, wallahi. SubhanAllah, Jahili days, wherever, I was in environments where I shouldn't be in environments. Let's just say, for example, a party environment, for example, yeah? I was in a party environment, and wallahi, there was a point where I genuinely stood in that environment and I said to myself, what the hell am I doing? Wallahi, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing here? At the end of the day, I don't drink alcohol and all this stuff. I'm not involved in that. I'm not even taught, like, girls-wise, it's not even in the picture for me at this moment. And music-wise, I was kind of off music. I didn't want to listen to music no more. So wallahi, that night I just went home, and wallahi, subhanAllah, I didn't even mention it to anyone. Wallahi, I went home in my room and started crying. Wallahi, I don't know why. I just let it all out, just crying, non-stop. But then, after that point, I just started looking at things a bit more different, you know? And then after a couple months went by, in January times, I like my mother, every year she always goes visit my sisters in Dubai. She always visits them. And obviously we pay for a ticket, say, oh, go enjoy yourself. There's no point in you being here. You know, I'm trying to say, you've retired, just go enjoy yourself. Go visit sisters, hot weather, nice Muslim country, alhamdulillah, you know? So 3-4 days prior to her leaving, she felt a bit sick, she was vomiting. So I said to Hoya, listen, if you don't like this in the next couple of days, please don't go on holiday. You know what I mean? As in, just chill in London. You know what I mean? You're ill. You know. A couple of days went by, and it came to the day where she was flying out in the morning. She was flying out in the evening. Sorry. So when it came to the morning, I said to Hoya, Ahmed, are you sick? Are you feel well? She goes, good. She ran out jumping, happy to leave the country because obviously the country's depression. Right? Come on, man. You know. So she's happy to leave the country. So then.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, I'm interrupting the podcast again. I know you were probably really enjoying yourself getting into the conversation, but I have something very important to talk to you about. It's only going to take 1 minute. So please, just listen to me, inshallah ta'ala. Guys, as you know, we do da'wah, and this da'wah that we do is not that watered down stuff. It's the stuff that actually really teaches people what the religion is. And as you can see, it helps people. You've been seeing on this Ramadan with the Mandem podcast series that people are actually impacted by these things. Now, in order to put more content out, to reach more people, we need a bigger team, we need more equipment, we need more staff. All of that stuff comes with money. So we're fundraising right now this Ramadan to be able to have more funds, to be able to produce more so we can reach more people over next year, inshallah ta'ala. So if you guys would like to be a part of this da'wah that we do, by contributing at the link below, that means that inshallah ta'ala you can participate in the reward of all that comes from this. So click the link below and make a donation ASAP. In fact, make a donation before you go back to watching the rest of the podcast. Assalamu alaikum.
Once me and my brother, we basically dropped off to the airport. So this I was mentioned before. She dropped off to the airport, and then I was in a queue with her, waiting for her to go for a ticket, whatever, because we have to check if the COVID pass or something, the pass and forth, you know. And then she had an iPad that we bought her basically, yeah. And she wanted me to connect the Wi-Fi to the obviously to the airport. So I was connecting, I was in the queue, and I just felt hot, I just felt sick. I don't know, I felt weird. And I said, oh, listen, hold this. I'm gonna go to the toilet 1 second. I went to walk to the toilet. Halfway when I was going to the toilet, you know the toilet's in like Heathrow. Yeah. I stopped halfway and I felt good again. I just felt weird. I just went back, said whatever, took my mom to the security gate, hugged her, so whatever. She goes, I'm gonna call you when I land. I said, inshallah, and I'll show you whatever. Cool. She left. 5 days into a holiday in Dubai, she like she was feeling a bit sick. And my sister goes, you know what? I'm gonna leave her here, chill her. I'm gonna give her 2 days and see how she might recover. We'll get her water, medicine, and so on and forth. Then she just felt sick. So then my sister was like, okay, cool, we need to take her to hospital straight away. And a lot of the hospitals, for some reason, Dubai was packed because of COVID and all these things, you know? At this point, we didn't know what it was. And then, alhamdulillah, for some reason, a private hospital said, yeah, we'll take her. So some Canadian hospital in Dubai, private hospital. To the private hospital, and obviously you think you know already, private hospital, they run up, wallahi, subhanAllah. For one night, it's like the bills are ridiculous with medicine and far.
It's true.
And then, wallahi, like, I remember this point so, like, clearly, yeah? And then, like, so I have videos of mom giving us like a tour of the room and that, you know what I mean? In the hospital, say, look, it's nice, the table, oh my God, that, like happy to be there, you know what I mean? She's taking us tours, whatever. And then she was cool, like good. She was on the phone, just coughing, like clearing her throat and stuff, that's it, you know? And then a couple of days went by, and then she was getting a bit ill in the hospital, like, cause she has diabetes and she's high cholesterol and she's kind of about that. She was only like, about like 58 years old, you know what I mean? She was getting to an age where she was kind of a bit weak and a little bit frail to a certain extent, you know? And then, I spoke to my mom on the phone, and then for some reason, wallahi, I've been on this earth at that time, 24 years of my life, I've never seen my mom sick, ever. She's the one who's visiting people in hospital. She's the one who's going, yeah, come with me, I'm gonna go visit auntie this, auntie that, uncle this, come, we're gonna visit and give them food or whatever. Never seen hospital, never seen ill. Every time she's ill, she drinks something, that's it, khalas, she's all good, you know? Then she called her, and then I was on the phone, wallahi, I just broke down, crying in tears, bro, like, and I didn't know what it was, you know? And then mama goes, what happened? What's going on? Did the doctor tell you something that I don't know about? And I said, no, I just never seen you like this in my life, you know? She's like, cool, go off the phone. And then one of my siblings called me and said, yo, what's your problem? Why are you stressing out Hoya for? Like, you know what I mean? She's ill, why are you stressing out? Whatever. I said, I couldn't help it, you know what I mean? Then my mom being my mom, she called me back, she's like, listen, she just took her mind off it. She goes, listen, make sure you go fix this in the house, go do this, whatever. Make sure you go shopping and look after everyone and do this, whatever. SubhanAllah, you know? So like, in a way, I think at that point, linking later on, you understand, I think Hoya, when I got off the phone with her, like, because I'm the youngest in the family, you know what I mean? And wallahi, I will happily say it to the day, wallahi, that I die, mommy's boy for life, wallahi. As I know, the youngest, me and my mom's relationship was like this. Wallahi, if you ask anybody, our relationship was like this. That was my best friend, wallahi. You need to understand that, yeah? And then she called, I think that day, that point onwards, she made dua for me. Because for some reason, when 2-3 days later, the doctor called us and said, hey, listen, it's not looking good, you know what I mean? Like, I think we need to put in a coma for her body to rest and her lungs to rejuvenate. We said, listen, whatever you feel like the best thing is, go ahead, do it. They put in a coma, and then my older brother flew out there, and both of my sisters were living there already, so I'm in the house by myself, you get it? And then So I'm in the house working, going uni. I'm thinking I'm stressed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking like I don't know what's going on. You know. So I had a month and a half by myself, just in my thoughts. You know. And then and me personally, naturally, I just always think the worst of situations. I don't know why, wallah. And then my brother went over there and so on and so forth. But I think Hoya Ahmed made a dua that I wouldn't see her in that state. Because a month after her being up and down, wallah, it was like, even to this day, when my sister called me on my phone, wallah, I got PTSD, bro. I'm thinking, what's going on now? What's the problem? Because my sister used to call me every 1 hour, 2 hours, 2 hours. And then moving forward, like after a month of her being in a coma, obviously we got the news. My sister called me. Wallahi, the second she called me on my phone, bro, I just didn't know what to feel. I threw my phone. I couldn't cry. I was just blank. I blanked out. Then my auntie came to the house after hours. She goes, listen, come to my house. That's where all the aunties, everyone's gonna go, obviously for the taxi, right? So we say like the get together thing, right? So went there, numb. Wallahi, numb. Went there 2 days after. 1 day after, I booked a flight, went straight out to Dubai. I couldn't go to Janaza because they have to bury the body as quick as possible, right? So I couldn't even go to the burial or nothing because obviously COVID, they have to keep it a small amount of people. And then I went there and obviously went to the grave. Wallahi, I couldn't even cry. Wallahi, I couldn't cry. I've been in Salah, I couldn't cry. 3-4 months prior to that, after that, Wallahi, I couldn't cry. I went there, and to a point where, Wallahi, yeah, even my dad said this to me 1 week being in Dubai, he goes, for some reason, like I needed that mother and son, that bond, you know what I mean? That mother and like that son feeling, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, as in me and mom used to joke around, like we used to clown each other all the time as jokes, you know? To the point where I had to fly back to the motherland. For the first time in my life, I've never been in my life. Just to go to the motherland, just to go see my mother's siblings and just be there. Yeah, and go to exactly where my mum was raised and so on and so forth, just to feel something. Do you get it? And obviously seeing my mother's siblings and that, they look exactly like her. Like Ahmed, exactly like her. So I'm looking at her hands, I can see her hands, her face, her feet, exactly like my mum, to a point where it's like, wallah, I didn't want to leave. I was there for a couple of weeks, getting my mind together. I was praying Salah, but I could not cry. Wallah. And after that, because 3-4 months after that, while I came back to London, so on and so forth, I couldn't cry. I was thinking, what's my problem? Like, why can't I cry? I don't understand. Then obviously my sister was saying some people, they grieve differently, but I'm thinking, why can't I cry? When I see certain situations where someone crying, I always cry, but I can't cry. Wallahi, I couldn't cry. So I was just confused. I was like, why can I not cry, you know? And then wallahi, one night, it just absolutely, I think it was one of your videos or someone's videos, wallah, when it says, reach out to Allah and Allah will answer you. Something along the lines of that. Yeah. And I saw another video of a guy talking about what tahajjud, I didn't know what tahajjud was. Night prayer, asking for so on and so forth. I didn't know what it was. So I was searching how to do it, how to pray, whatever. I just done it. For some reason, wallahi, prior to that, bro, I went in sujood, bro, I was crying for like 2 hours, bro. I was thinking, Ya Allah, please, one, forgive my mother's sins. Allow us to Jannat Firdaus. So on and so forth. Ya Allah, surround me with good righteous people and keep me remembrance of you and keep me steadfast. Ya Allah, allow the torch of the grave to not even be there for my mother. Like, wallahi, I was there for 2 hours with my head on the ground, crying to a point where, wallahi, time wasn't even a thing for me, you know? Subhanallah, from that point, usually when it was like, it got to like Fajr time, I prayed Fajr, and then I usually don't check my phone after late hours. I never check my phone. I went on Snap for some reason. Wallahi, there's a brother, I will never forget this day, because wallahi, every salah I make dua for that guy. And I'm not going to mention his name. He messaged me, he goes, yo, akhi, long time. I have not spoken to this guy for 2 years, bro. 2 years I ain't spoken to this guy. And I still just had him on Snapchat. He goes, akhi, listen, there's something going on tomorrow. There's a lesson going on tomorrow. I need you to be there, like around 7 o'clock. I said, okay, cool. And I go, do I need to bring anything like books or ever take notes? He goes, no, listen, just please bring yourself. And plus, I've got some good news for you. And I'm thinking, bro, I ain't spoke to this guy in so long. What does he want from me to get? So I was like, cool, finished work at 5, went to Dar es Salaam. It was Abdulahad. He was going for the Quran, the last day. Quran.
The tafsir, yeah.
Tafsir, he's going for the last thing. Then obviously I went there and then I went to the lesson wherever, and he told me, he's like, yo, listen, by the way. And then that's when I met all of the brothers you can think of right now, wallahi. And I asked Allah the night before, Ya Allah, please surround my good righteous brothers. And then my brothers to this day, I asked for that, wallahi. And then he told me, he was like, yeah, by the way, you know, Imran Dawman and that, they always do like some 5-star Umrah thing, whatever. I'll give you more details, I'll let you know about it. So inshallah, let me know, innit? Then he goes, all right, cool. And he gave me more details about it. He goes, yeah, they go Umrah group, whatever. And wallahi, maybe 2 weeks prior, before I got back to the country, I was in Somalia, I was looking at packages. Because I didn't know what the difference between Umrah and Hajj was. I didn't know, and I didn't know the prices and the so on and so forth, you know? So then from that point, he obviously connected and I met all the brothers that were there. Till this day, we're with each other 24/7, you know? And then wallahi, like, the rest is history, subhanAllah, man, wallahi. Wallahi, man. There's not much really to it, wallahi, subhanAllah, but, well, man, I don't know, wallahi.
First and foremost, may Allah have mercy on your mother.
Ameen.
Ameen, Ya Rabb. And all of our parents alive and those who have passed away. Ameen.
But the one thing, alhamdulillah, why I say the good thing, why it makes me smile and happy all the time, this is temporary. You know what I mean? And wallahi, like, if I didn't know that, and plus knowing how Hoya Allah Ahmed was, in terms of the most charitable person, wallahi, and I've said this a million times, the most charitable person I've ever witnessed in my whole life. For someone who struggled their whole life raising children by herself as a single mother and not having anything and still giving out something that she has, for someone who needs it more, subhanAllah, wallahi, like I said, that makes me happy. And from that point onwards, wallahi, this is even a lesson to anyone, even out there in general. When it comes to your parents, please be nice to them, wallahi, and do the most. Because at the end of the day, you have to understand that even Hoya Allah Hamar, she was so charitable to a point where now we got a masjid built for her. Alhamdulillah, it's going to be done in a month. And wells and stuff are being built for, alhamdulillah, all this stuff for her. Because she's the most charitable person, wallahi. And she used to send money back home all the time when we needed it more. But she's always sending it back home to her family that haven't got nothing.
And now that she's passed away, people are doing things in her name.
That's what I'm saying. Because you know how they say they leave, was it 3 things behind? Righteous children that make dua for them, sadaqah, and what was the other one?
Beneficial knowledge.
Beneficial knowledge. And she left all 3.
Allah,
all 3, subhanAllah, man. Like that's why, and it's like even going back home and see my actual family, my first cousins and that, how they're living, it just made me be grateful for life. And wallahi, over there I visited an orphanage in Hargeisa. These kids didn't even see their parents once. They, like, their parents died at birth, or they left them, or so on and so forth. And I'm here and I'm grateful enough to even spend 24 years with my mother, seeing how she laughs, what she finds funny about her past, her present, what she wants me to, like, wallahi, she left the whole blueprint for all of us. Like, we know exactly what to do. And wallahi, for me not to do it and not do well in this life and not be able to see and Jannat for those, wallahi, I failed her. That's my motivation. If I don't see her, then wallahi, I failed her. There's nothing in this world that I can genuinely give her when she was alive to me up to this point now, wallahi.
Qasim, a lot of people, they lose people, but they don't react to it in the way that you do. You seem to have, you know, like, for example, I know brothers that have lost their mothers before, then they fall off. I know brothers that lose a friend, a guy might lose a girl, you know what I'm saying? They fall off. What's the reason? And obviously we know that it was from the tawfiq of Allah Azza wa Jal. But in terms of the mechanics of it, what was the reason that you didn't go that way, but rather you came towards the deen?
Wallahi, so simple. And I say this a million times again. If it wasn't for Islam, wallahi, I would have lost my mind a long time ago. Wallahi, I would have lost my mind a long time ago. I wouldn't know where I am, probably on drugs. Allahu A'lam, I don't know. Wallahi, if it wasn't for Islam, every problem that I had, or every question I had, it got answered. Whether it's from dua, whether it's from one of the ustads or yourself, asked you a few questions in general like that. Wallahi, if it wasn't because of that, wallahi, I would have lost my mind a long time ago, wallahi. Long time ago. But then one thing about me is I've always been happy to get. And my mum, Allah Hamar, when she was alive, she used to love when I'm happy. As in me, since a kid, I've never been, for you to get me angry is very, very hard. Wallah, very hard. Annoy me? Yeah, maybe. For me to like make me angry is very hard. I'm a happy person, you know? So I'm just thinking in my head, it's like, wallahi, sometimes, as crazy as it sounds, sometimes when I'm doing something and I'm questioning something, like as in, oh, should I do this, whatever? Wallahi, I know exactly what Allah Hamar Mama's answer is. Because she really instilled that in us since we was young, you know what I mean? Since we were young. And she used to always remind us about death a lot. Like, wallahi, I remember one time I moved into the area where I moved into now, 6 years old. We were moving everything to the house. We were sitting on the sofa. I was lying down next to my mum. I was like 6 years old. Then mum was talking about something. And then she goes, yeah. And then she started bringing about death. So yeah, everyone's going to die one day. You need to understand, but what are you going to do about it when someone dies, so on and so forth? Are you going to do something good, so on and so forth? And I'm a kid crying like, oh yeah, I don't want to die. Because you need to understand, everyone's going to die one day. But the question is, and even throughout, even a couple years ago, she even mentioned to me, she's like, listen, if I die tonight, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do about life? Okay, what about if you're going to die tomorrow, what are you going to do today? Are you going to do something that's going to help you benefit in the next life? Or are you going to, you know what I mean, sort yourself out, you know what I mean? And like, and I wallahi, I props to my mama alhamdulillah the way she was raising us, you know what I mean? She used to give us a lot of talks, but she used to give us freedom to a point where it was a big risk. But she was like, you know what, listen, I know I raised you guys well, go. You know what I mean? And alhamdulillah, obviously the way we all turned out, alhamdulillah, you know what I mean? Like she raised us well, wallahi, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. It just makes me happy knowing that we can do things for Allah, you know what I mean, in terms of charity. And that's something that I want to do, and wallahi, till my last breath, wallahi, I'm going to be doing charity on my behalf, always. Allah. Always, wallahi, man. But listen, I need to bring you guys to Hargeisa though.
Do you have like
I would love to go to Hargeisa.
Do you have like a fundraising link or something we can put in the video?
No, we haven't got one now, but we done a fundraising thing last year, which is obviously for the masjid. And then we raised, subhanAllah, we absolutely just smashed it. And then from that, we've done the masjid. And then from our own family, from our pockets and stuff, we basically done the wells. So put in the wells. But for now, obviously right now I'm keeping it private in terms of, there's a few things that we do in the floor and whatever, but we kept it within our friend circle, so on and so forth. But inshallah khair, we're going to be doing more stuff. So once the masjid is done and completed, we're going to move to next thing. But we have a foundation account, Sarah Abdurrahman foundation account. So inshallah, we're trying to get
we can put the link below.
Yeah, inshallah.
Link all the details.
So we keep the updates in there regarding that. But for now, alhamdulillah, like we're just trying to get the masjid first, the most important thing.
And that's the important thing for people to remember, because Allah said in the Quran, هَلْ جَزَاءُ الْإِحْسَانِ إِلَّا الْإِحْسَانِ. Is there any reward for good other than good? Meaning if you are good, you're going to be treated in a good way.
Yeah.
So the fact that she was good to people whilst she was alive, now that she's passed away and she can no longer do any more good deeds, people are doing it on her behalf. That's a very important thing to consider, wallahi. You know, it's a very important thing. But now if a person lives a bad way, they're dead and buried, people might be cursing them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People might be living off sins that they've taught them and encouraged them. And look at this, you now, because I've said this to you, I said, look, if your mum passed away or your dad passed away, one of the best things you could do for them is you to be righteous. The salah that your mum taught you, she will get the reward every time you pray. When you get married and have children, and you teach your children the values that your mum instilled in you, the deen that she taught you, she will get the reward of that entire lineage that comes from you. So it doesn't make sense if a loved one passes away for you to just go the other direction. That's why I asked you that question. It's very important, because you know sometimes it's like if you go get high because you lost a loved one, or you get drunk because you lost a loved one, or you just get angry, that's selfish. That's not benefiting your loved ones in any way, shape, or form. That's selfish. That's just you living off your own emotions. But if it's a selfless love, you're gonna put your emotions to a side. You know what I'm saying? As much as you can, and you're gonna do what's best for them in that situation that they're in. Make dua for them now. You might go Hajj on their behalf. You might do Umrah on their behalf. You might say, okay, you know what? We need to build a masjid on her behalf. You did Umrah on her behalf as well, right?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. So you know you do these things, and you better yourself, and you remember, wait, what did mum tell me? Let me do that right now. Mum mentioned to me something called a sunnah prayer. Let me do the sunnah prayer now. She gets the reward for it when you did it.
Do you remember, when we were in Umrah a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Last month. Do you remember what happened after, as soon as I finished my 7th Tawaf? Straight after, we walked off to do 2 rakah.
Yeah, you were making dua.
I broke down.
Yeah.
And I came and I hugged you, remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Wallahi, yeah. Do you know where the emotion came from? I remember, wallahi, growing up, like as in not even during Ramadan, just in the mornings. My mom, like how much she used to like iron our school shirts and stuff and our uniform as kids in primary, yeah? She used to leave on the TV, she put Islam channel. And obviously the Tawaf.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wanted to go, you know? And mom goes, inshallah, we'll go one day, you know what I mean? And wallahi, we was planning, Allah's the best of all planners, but we was planning a year prior, so like during lockdown, to go take her there. But then Allah's the best of all planners, you know what I mean? And then wallahi, but I just remember like in terms of what keeps me going mentally as a person, is everything in this dunya is temporary. Yeah. Everything. Everyone's given to you, like you know what I mean? They're renting it to you. Allah's renting these people to you, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we had my mother to obviously raise us, but then the one thing that wallahi that broke me the most about her going, that's the easiest way to Jannah closed.
No.
Easiest. It's gone, out the window now. But it's like, what keeps me going in general as well is what she taught us, the blueprint she left behind in terms of what she wants from us. Because wallahi, everything I do, like, okay, should I get into this job? What would Ahmed think? Straight away. And I asked my siblings, what do you think? Yeah, she would have said that. Like, she was such a, but the blessing in disguise here is that we was in lockdown. So I was with my mom every single day. Just seeing her face every day, talking to her, banner here and there. But you know, it's what I miss the most, wallahi. And it sounds crazy, but I just wanted to just argue with me. Just shout at me. Wallah, one more time. Just want to ask for one more time. Just shout at me. Just get on to me for no reason, wallahi. Because the way it's, I can't describe it to you. The way our relationship was, it was like, it was my best friend. Yeah. Before anything, it was like my best friend. So she knew my boundaries, I knew her boundaries. So there's some things I can pass, some things she can't. So just the way we joke on is like that, wallahi, man. That's the only thing I miss in general, but inshallah, man. In the next life, inshallah.
Definitely.
Inshallah. So that's what I'm waiting for, wallahi, man. Wallahi, that's all I'm waiting for, inshallah. I'm just doing everything I can now to just get to that point. Because wallahi, at this point, wallahi, as I said, if it wasn't for Islam, bro, I don't know where I would be, subhanAllah, wallahi. I don't know, I would have lost my long time ago, wallahi. Because right now, when I think about things, like to a certain extent after that, even when I flew out to Dubai and I left after when I was in the like, visit the grave, I was sitting in Starbucks and I was thinking, why ain't the world stopping? Like, what's going on? Like, why isn't the world stopping? Why is no one caring? Why am I the only one that's living in here? Like, what's going on? Am I the only one who knows about this? Like, what's going on? Like, show some emotion. Why is everyone happy walking the street? I was confused. Wallahi, I was genuinely confused. But then obviously I realized that everyone is going through something. But it was high. I was mentioning to the brother as well. Everyone's going through something, but they're good at hiding it. It's like when I went on the Umrah trip, alhamdulillah, wallahi, man. And I thanked you for this, wallahi, man. I thanked you for this. When I went on that trip and I was speaking to different brothers on that trip, every single person's going through something. Everyone's going through something. Like the brother Jonas that was on here last time, I was sitting right next to him on the flight. We were talking. The flight was like 6 hours. We was going to stop in Bahrain. We was talking for hours. And then randomly he goes, yeah, man, I lost my mom a couple months ago. I was like, what? SubhanAllah, you lost your mom a couple months ago? He goes, yeah. He goes, to what? He goes, come here. I was like, what? That's like my situation as well. So then for the whole flight, we're just talking about it. SubhanAllah, man. But wallahi, as he said, that guy is very mature, man. Allah Barak. May Allah preserve it, man. Wallahi, that guy is just different. Beyond his years, man. Allah Barak, man.
Wallahi, Jazakallah khair, akhi, man. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. We make dua, we ask the viewers to also make dua for your mother. And inshallah, as we mentioned, either the account details or is it a link?
It's just the Instagram account at this moment.
Okay, so we'll link the Instagram account for the time being, and you guys can follow that, inshallah.
Can I say one last thing?
Go for it.
Please.
Wallahi, man. My message from this whole thing, let's just say even if you skip this whole thing, skip to the end to this point, wallahi, man. Guys, if your mother is still alive, your father's still alive, whether it's your siblings, whatever, but especially your mother, wallahi, appreciate her every moment, wallahi, with her, man. Please. Because wallahi, if there's one thing I could go back in time, it's just even having a 10-minute conversation with my mum. Allah, Ahmed, wallahi, man. Please treat your mum nice. Like obviously in the deen as well in general, bro. You say your mother, then your father, right? So wallahi, guys, treat your mother with the most respect as possible. Do everything for her. If she tells you do this, do it. Do not hesitate, wallahi, man. Because me, I want to be that person that, okay, cool, the person starts realizing that sign for someone, you know? So to a point where like, I used to see a lot of people saying, yeah, guys, be good to your mum, you don't lose. I was like, what's this guy talking about? Whatever, innit? But then when you actually go through it, subhanAllah, it's a whole different.
Realize what you have.
It's different, bro, wallahi, man. SubhanAllah, different, man.
Wallahi, Jazakallah khair. Hopefully you guys benefited from this episode. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Ramadan with the Mandem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace.